Welcome to Game Crunch, your weekly video game podcast. My name is Mike Anastasia. With me today, we got Brandon.
Hello,
We're talking about games and things.
games and things.
I don't know. Are any of these games actually new, or is it just
No,
kind of lots of?
no,
Okay,
no. We were just talking about games we've already played, I guess.
yeah. I guess it's games we played week.
It's
So,
yeah. I mean, I went back all the way to like PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 games.
yeah, I think I'm about on the same level as you on
Yeah,
that side of things. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I can slam this out real quick.
Okay, slam
So
away.
all right. So I played Marathon with a friend.
Uh-huh.
That's the first thing I'm going to talk about real quick.
Yeah.
They've been doing this thing every week where they've been introducing duos in a certain map so that you can play duos, because most of the time the game is a trios centered game unless you're playing on 100% solo mode.
Mm-hmm.
And every week, me and my friend during the weekend have been playing the duos mode on the map for that week. And this week's was Outpost, which I think personally is the best map in the entire game. And I was running around teaching my friend how to play Outpost, because Outpost is one of those maps where like you have to actually like hunt down key cards and find the correct number of key cards and then take them to the place and unlock different doors to go to different places and yada 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 blah blah blah. So yeah, I told him how to do that, and we actually had a lot of fun playing the duos mode this week. Um, Marathon's been having a very big problem since they introduced Cryo Archive, which Cryo Archive is like the very, very end game map of the game. It's kind of like a raid, like that you would have at the end of something like a Destiny game or like a MMO and whatnot. So it has
Mm-hmm.
like really powerful weapons and stuff that you can get for beating it. But whereas when you do that in a game like Destiny, you take those really powerful weapons and you then use them against the the NPCs, the AI that you're fighting. But this is an extraction shooter, so this caused a bit of a problem. So a bunch of streamers and other people that have had just a ton of time to be able to grind out everything or have people help them grind out everything have been able to get the most powerful weapons in the entire game, and that has kind of tipped the balance of gameplay in favor of people whose maybe their job is to play this game, for instance, or maybe they are you know they have heavy ties to Bungie, or maybe they're just people that are like the 1% of the 1%, and they have all the best gear and stuff now, so it's sort of like a rich gets richer sort of deal. So we've been playing these duos modes because it kind of eliminates some of that, because those people normally are like 3 stacks more or less, because that's how they got to where they are, and that's how they'll continue to be where they are. So going in with a 2 stack, me and my friend, we tend to run into the players that don't have the completely overpowered weapons, and makes for a much better experience. Otherwise, you could go into like the lowest end map in Marathon, and you'll end up running into someone who has the very end game weapon that is only drops from that in game area, and you can never get it any other way other than obviously killing someone with it. But it's so powerful, your chances of actually killing someone with it is slim to none.
Uh-huh.
And they will pretty much steamroll anyone that comes in. This has been a really, really big problem for the entire community, to the point where, well, the game's dying a hell of a lot quicker since Cryo was introduced, because of the rich get richer sort of idea.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the lower end players or mid range players or even high level players that just haven't got all the gear and stuff they need set up because they just haven't had time, or they just haven't gotten lucky with the drops. They're not having a chance to get that stuff, because now people are just, dog walking everyone with these god tier weapons that they have no chance of being able to get. So uh, duos has been sort of a way that me and my friend have been able to experience the game and continue progressing ourselves without having to deal with those people that are much, much higher caliber and have gone pretty much to the end of the very game and then brought back the god tier weapons to blast people that are like, not. So
Yeah.
but it's been a really fun time playing duos, because we were able to avoid all that bullshit, and it's been just very enjoyable going through it. I like it. I like duos, and I really hope they introduce duos as a more permanent option
Hmm.
because duos is just really fun, and I feel like the game works really, really well with two players, whereas it doesn't feel like it's made for solo players, and then I don't want to find a third person to play with or queue into random games. It's just not fun. So I'm
Yeah, fair.
hoping maybe we get like some duos for like ranked or something like next week or whatever because they've been going through each one of the maps in duos, and I don't think they're going to go into cryo with duos because I don't think that's the way that game mode is built.
Uh-huh.
Because it is like a lot of the time you need one person pressing the button, one person shooting these things, and one person shooting the boss in cryo. So it's kind of like, all right, well, I don't think we're gonna get there with duos. So yeah, but I would like a duos loadout for ranked because they've been doing things also where like you get to a certain level in ranked, then you get a skin for free or something like for your character, and it's kind of cool. But I also have been opting out of that because I don't want to play with three randoms, and I don't want to play with two randoms, and I don't want to play by myself. So I haven't been doing ranked really. So there's that.
Fair.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um, so other than that, I played Raccoin. I was cleaning up some of the stuff that I hadn't finished because I've done a lot of that game now. I've put like 20 hours into it, maybe 15, somewhere in there. And I've beaten all of the main like uh so whenever you go through the game Balatro, you have like specific decks that you play against, and
Hmm.
Raccoin has sort of the same thing, but it's like specific characters and the way they built their machines that you play against. And I've gone through and I've beaten every character's machine. So I've done that, and now I'm doing like the modifiers for the machine, and it's been really fun playing that game. I think Raccoin's an absolute blast to play. So, so there's that.
Good.
Other than that, I did go back to the PlayStation 4 slash PlayStation 3 and played a game that I had because I haven't played it that much at all in a very long time since I looked it up, and it was since 2019 I haven't played this game.
Okay.
Um, and I've mostly decided to pick it up because I Steel Ball Run, the first episode was shown on Netflix at the beginning of March, and they just announced that the second episode and the rest of the series will air in the fall,
Hmm.
which is a very long time to skip in between showing episodes. That's actually fucking crazy. Like, you show one episode and then wait 6 months to show the next one. That's insane.
Yeah, that's kind of
Uh,
crazy.
but I gotten back in the mood to play or do something with Jojo, and I haven't been. I've read most of the manga except for the current one, which is Jojo Lands, which I'm kind of waiting for it to finish before reading it all. But I decided I wanted to play some of the Jojo games I had, so I dug out my old PS4 copy of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure: Eyes of Heaven, which is like a what if kind of story,
Hmm.
where the characters that died in the series um, have been corrupted in a way, and they're trying to bring back like all the people from the dead, and also trying to. I don't exactly understand what they're doing because this one I never finished, but I think it's something along the lines of what Pucci was doing in part six, which was to bring about a new world essentially. And the way they do that is by gathering these specific people in this specific place to open up the gates of heaven, but it's not actually that. It's more of like, you know, changing the world completely in the way that they see it and whatnot. This is a fighting game. This is a fighting game that takes place in all of the parts of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, all the way up to part 8, which is pretty cool. because Part 8 has not had any representation in like anything yet, which is neat. Um, the the game plays a lot like Power Stone. That was a game on the Dreamcast made by Capcom, where it's like an open arena, like beat 'em up, where you can like pick up items and like throw them and grab different things off the map and combine them together to do like ultimate attacks or like team up with other players, either AI or if you're playing online with other actual players and do like combo attacks together against other enemies. It's very fun, and I really enjoyed it when I initially played it way back when in 2018 it looks like, and I was having a lot of fun playing it the other night. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. Not that much, just odd things here and there, and that's about it.
Okay. All right. I'll talk about what I've been playing then. Not very much. So Bacopia, I'll just mention it. I was not planning on talking about it, but just because we're not talking about a lot today, I feel like I'll just throw it in there. Um, so I think I finished like the main story of the game. I'm pretty sure I've unlocked most, if not all, of the abilities for this game at this point.
Hmm.
So really, I'm kind of just like checking in periodically, just doing like some easy kind of like glow ups, as I see them, and just kind of just I don't know, I'm just kind of taking my time with this and just kind of enjoying it. Like I do kind of want to go through and complete the Pokedex at some point and kind of find everything that there is through this game. But there's a lot to that, and it's not something that seems like it'd be fun to kind of rush through. It seems like it's more of a take your time and just kind of see where things take you. And that's kind of what I'm doing with it. There's lots of stuff that's, kind of luck based and timing based. And so I'm just going to, take my time and kind of enjoy things as they pop up. And that's kind of where they are. But I'm having a lot of fun now that I'm able to build more complex structures. So I think that's neat. And I feel like I keep on learning or finding new stuff in this game. There's so many layers to it that every time I see something new, I'm just like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I'm like, I didn't realize that this was a mechanic here, but apparently it is. Um, but I've been really enjoying that. That's what's there. It's just kind of nice to kind of poke through it as I have time. So that's fun.
Hmm.
Um, Otherwise, kind of like I talked about last week, I've been in kind of a Resident Evil kick and definitely kind of more in an action kind of side of things. So I finished up Resident Evil Villages DLC. That was fun. Like I think I said last week, I was very close to the end. So really not much else to kind of finish up there. But then I thought I had a nice kind of resolution to everything that's there. Um, and then once I was done with it, I was like, well, I'm still kind of in the mood for Resident Evil stuff, and it just happened to be one of the weeks where Capcom has all their stuff on sale,
Hmm.
which isn't honestly that infrequent. I feel like it happens once a month, but timing was there, so I was like, fuck it. I'm like, I'll pick up another Resident Evil game to play. So I went with Resident Evil Revelations. Da da
Oh,
da.
nice. That
Yeah,
game's
I don't.
awesome.
It is. Well, kind of. I hadn't. I don't think I've played it since the 3DS. I have played through it like once or twice, and more than once, at least twice, maybe three times. But I don't think I played it on console. I don't think I ever picked it up that way. So it was kind of nice to go back. I always liked the setting of it, and I kind of liked the way that they kind of broke it into chapters. It was kind of nice for the 3DS at the time, but it definitely has some shortcomings, especially
Hmm.
you notice them more glaringly kind of compared to say like more modern Resident Evil games. Um, like you do have some limitations. You do have like strange limitations on like items that you have. Like you do have like a um what would I call it? Like a chest to like store some stuff in, but it's not like items. It's more like your weapons. You can only have like three weapons at a time, so you're gonna have to decide
Mm.
which weapons you're gonna do, and you can only carry like certain amount of ammo, and you're limited, not by like space that you can collect. A lot of times, like in the new games, they'll be like, oh, here's your case. You can fit things as many things as you want that fits in this case space. It's not the case with Revelations. It's like nope, you can only have a maximum of 60 handgun ammo, like no matter what. The game is pretty forgiving in terms of like ammo and like those kind of limitations. So I never really felt like I was too terribly short on ammunition. A lot of times it was just more about like, hey, I'm running low on handgun ammo. Let me go to the crate and switch it out for my shotgun instead, kind of thing. Um, but I do really like this story. It kind of makes me realize how little we see of Jill. Like Jill really has not had like much game stuff, aside from like Resident Evil 3 and Revelations.
Hmm.
So it's kind of nice to see her back and with Chris again. I was thinking about it. I mean, there's got to be. I would not be surprised if they're like the main characters again for Resident Evil 10, which should be like the next big one coming out. Because I feel like hey, it's a big milestone for the series, and they really have not had too much time together. And really, even too, even though I feel like we've seen a lot of Chris in the more recent Resident Evil games, like he's really not been featured in a game since Resident Evil 5. So he's no,
Hmm.
I guess he was in 6. Forget about that. But really, just not as much featured as he should be for kind of one of the bigger characters of the game. Um, but that was nice. I like the, I don't know what to call it, cruise ship kind of setting there because you're on a derelict like cruise style ship, the Queen Zenobia. But I think that story is interesting. Although I will say, like the voice acting and the dialogue, you realize how far they've come in the last like 10 years. The dialogue in this game is fucking horrible. It is so bad. Kind of like what we were joking about with Assassin's Creed 2 when I was talking about that, you know, last summer. This dialogue is not too terribly far away from that. I can't remember the one character's line. Her name's Jessica. She's Chris's partner in this game, but she says something like, like I'll get my sweet ass over there. Like, okay, sure. Um, but yeah, it is it is a charming game. I do really like what they did with this. I'm actually kind of surprised if anything we've not seen Resident Evil Revelations 3. I think there was a rumor at one point they were working on it and ended up scrapping it, but um, it is interesting. So I did really enjoy that. They did. It seems like they added a bunch of features for like the console version. There's more of a focus on some of the multiplayer stuff that's there, and you're kind of constantly getting points and stuff to get better equipment. So, but that's fun. But I finished
Yes,
that
the
up.
multiplayer is so fun to grind in that
Is
game.
it?
I actually did it a lot with my friends. We would play multiplayer and just go through different parts of the, because there's like different maps that you go through and everything, different little
Yeah.
missions you do that's separate from the original single player. The grind in that's so good, and like the weapons and upgrades and stuff you can get are so much fun. It's so good. It's absolute blast to play.
Yeah, the upgrade system in this game is kind of interesting because you'll get like custom parts, at least in the single
Yep.
player, you get custom parts that kind of go there and you can attach them to your gun and they give you some extra bonuses and then you get BP points, for your progress and you can use those to get new stuff in the raid mode. And it seems like they've even added even more to the console version. Like there's definitely seems like there's modes that were not there in the 3DS version, like maybe more difficult kind of raid
Hmm.
missions and things. Um but yeah, so I don't know. I was happy to go back to it again. It was kind of nice. It was definitely a lot different than say like the last couple Resident Evils I played. But yeah, so that was interesting. And then after I finished that, I was like, well, I'm still in the mood for more Resident Evil, and they're still on sale, so I probably should do another one. So I did just start another one. I didn't get too terribly far in it, and I have a lot more to say about this one. Um, so I think I've kind of threatened to go back to this one for a couple weeks, and now I
Hmm.
actually did. So I downloaded Resident Evil 6. So um, I I mean, we always talk about how atrocious this game is, but I forgot how atrocious this game is. Like my mind was like, oh, isn't that bad? I played the whole game in co-op when I played it last time. And there's definitely a lot I forgot about. So all I've done so far, I've played through. So this game, if you recall, or for listeners who do not know, Resident Evil 6 is broken down into basically three main campaigns and a DLC campaign that's about the same length. Each campaign is comprised of, I think I would call them missions, like 5 kind of missions or episodes. Um, and they're generally fairly linear. Um, and each one kind of is a little kind of slightly different flavor. So your kind of main ones are you have Leon's campaign, you have Chris's campaign, and you have, I don't remember who they give it to, either Jake or Sherry.
Hmm.
Their campaign, that's kind of the third one. Leon's is probably the closest to more traditional Resident Evils.
Hmm.
Um, but all the Resident Evil 6 stuff, as far as I have seen, And as far as I can recall in my memory, it's really kind of like overblown, over the top, like pedal to the metal, like movie cinematic, like I don't know. It's supposed to be horror, but I don't even know how scary you consider it. Um, this one does it. It definitely foregoes like all of the kind of like jump scares and like scary atmospheres for just kind of like more of a fast paced kind of shooting environment.
Yeah. Okay.
Chris's campaign and Jake and Cherry's campaign. Those ones are closer to say like a third person shooter, from top to bottom.
Mhm.
Leon's does have some horror elements from what I recall. And from what I've seen, I definitely have had a lot more. I will say this game is very forgiving with ammunition and like pickups from like enemies, but at the
Mhm.
same time, I've run out of ammo so many times in this game. Like I've definitely had a lot more item management in Resident Evil 6 than I have in the last like 4 Resident Evil games combined. Um, so that's kept me on my toes a little bit more. Like I run out of ammo a lot more. You're supposed to use melee attacks, more intermittently, kind of in between things. So that is definitely interesting. But there's some just strange decisions that they made in this game. Like Leon is tripping all over the place, like all the time. Like anytime something's remotely on the floor, he's like stumbling.
Mhm.
It drives me crazy. He doesn't have like hold B to run, but like if you hold down the control stick like fully in one direction, he's already running really fast. Like it's very fast paced just by holding the control stick. And then there's also the option to run with like the B button. And then you're like full on sprinting, and it's like it's so ridiculously fast compared to what you're used to in the games. Like fast for most Resident Evil games is kind of like a brisk walk. Like this one is definitely like full on like speed dash. Um which is strange because there's definitely some moments I'm like, I feel like the tension would be better if I was kind of more like moving slowly through this. And
Mhm.
and strangely at the beginning of the game, it forces you to move slowly like half the time. Like the first chapter of Leon's uh quest or missions was like horribly slowly paced and hard to navigate around. And then all of a sudden you're like in the action and it's just like just run, 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 shoot, 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 shoot. Um, yeah, so there's that. It really doesn't have a ton of puzzles. There are puzzles that are there, but they really don't involve much thinking. It's definitely this Resident Evil 6 is definitely a co-op third person shooter, like top to bottom, with some horror elements being item management and zombies. Like that is where it is.
Mhm.
Um I did back in the day. I really enjoyed playing the game in co-op. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how I do this. And each chapter inside these campaigns, they're quite long. Like I think the first one took me like an hour, the second one took me just short of 2, although I was kind of like up and around for a bit, so some of that time might be inflated a little bit. Um but still definitely like sizable missions, like things that are going to keep you kind of tied up for a little while to kind of progress through them. I'm excited to kind of get through it and see it a bit more. I think
I
I
was gonna
talked
say
about it.
I think the campaigns of these games, um, although not very horror focused, as you were
Mhm.
saying, I think there's some really fun. Like they're just really fun to play, just in general.
There are, I mean, I will say, like I said, when I played it before, I had some really fun moments.
Hmm.
But I also had someone else to suffer with me through it. I don't know if
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna have
guess
that
so.
same.
The thing is, I had the same thing, so I'm not sure how it would feel in solo. I know when we grinded out the whole like thing, and then I went and played solo for like the cleanup and the like grinding and shit. It was a blast, but I don't know how like playing through it the first time in solo would be. I have no
Yeah.
idea.
This game did not age well. That's all I'll say. Like it controls horribly. Like I do not think it controls well. Because it controls very differently than even say like Resident Evil 4 or Resident Evil 5.
I see.
Um, it's odd. I'm really kind of curious how they would approach this for a remake, as they've been kind of going through and pretty rapidly remaking things. I actually think this game would almost have to be completely redone, like from top to bottom, and they'd probably just try to keep some of the story elements,
I see. Okay.
but I don't know. Um, I mean, obviously, I'm just scratched the surface of the game, so there will be more updates kind of down the road on this. Um, but yeah, no, Resident Evil, it definitely like it's worse than I remember it, very
Yeah,
much so. Mhm.
yeah,
So at least that's where I am. Like I said, I know there's definitely, and I don't disagree with you. There are some really fucking cool moments in this campaign. I
yeah.
do remember that. Um, but I have not seen them yet in the 2 chapters I've been there, and there's a lot more frustrating stuff
So
than where I else.
what would you say is the worst Resident Evil that you've played then?
Like since I've played like all of them basically,
Yeah.
or are you just talking about more of the recent ones that I've been
How
playing
about
through?
recent? How about recent?
In terms of the recent ones, I mean, well, I'd say what in the last,
Let's go
when
four
did the
years. Let's go 4 years. The last four
okay,
years or whatever.
yeah, so last 4 years, I think that's pretty fair. I think so in that time I've definitely played four. Now I'm starting six,
Hmm.
7, 8, 9, Revelations. Is there any other Resident Evils in there? No, I think that's it. Those are the ones that I have played for sure. Um,
So I'm going to say this right now.
yeah.
Revelations is one of my favorites. Like
Hmm.
the first Revelations. Um, 6 is an absolute mess, and it's not one of my favorites. I think I was I misconstrued the way I was trying to say. I was saying it was fun to play through in multiplayer. 6 is not fun to play through otherwise, in my opinion. But it's also just not a good game in general. Um,
Oh yeah,
like
that's exactly how I feel. Yes.
it's fine, but I think so. Like when I rented it, because I rented 6 when it first came out, and
Hmm.
I played through most of it in multiplayer, and I think I played like the last half solo, and it was fucking miserable. So, you know, if you're playing the whole thing solo, I don't think the game's going to be good at all.
No,
And
I
I've kind of firmly stood by this opinion. Like anytime 6 is brought up, I've kind of been like, "Oh yeah, that game's ass." Like pretty much
yeah,
every
I don't
time
think
we
I've
brought it up.
yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. And I think I've always been like, well, I enjoyed it for co-op, but I don't really think I would enjoy it on its own. Because I remember I did do a level or two on its own before, and I think I don't remember how much of it I played, but I know I bought the DLC for that game, and I think I played through it all, but I don't remember. That
I do
that
not remember the DLC.
I remember playing it, and I remember thinking, I'm like, oh, it's weird that because you can do co-op with Ada's stuff, but it's definitely built as a single player thing and a co-op focused game. Um, so it is strange, but I agree with you. There's lots of weird shit in this game. It really was not thought through. It's like they it's like they took the wrong message from Resident Evil 4 to Resident Evil 5 to Resident Evil 6.
Yes. And that was kind of
Um,
the issue a lot of people had. And that's why most people were like, yeah, this series is dead for a
yeah.
long time. Because 6, although it sold the literal best in Japan, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it it is one of the worst received Resident Evil games ever. Besides, like, obviously the bad ones, like oh, this one's on a Neo Geo, or I mean, not Neo Geo, this one's on a fucking Engage, or this one's
Oh
on the
yeah.
Game Boy or something. Like those, yeah, obviously those are bad, but like this was just bad.
Yeah, this was a mainline game, and it's
Yeah.
just bad. Yes, and
Hmm.
that's kind of the issue with it because it's one thing if it's a spin-off that's bad, sure, but it's
That's
another
why
thing if
it
it's
was
like this is a
so
tentpole one.
impactful and important when we saw Resident Evil 7 after this game. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
no, I agree, but I also think that's part of the reason why I think Resident Evil 6 is also part of the reason why, like when
Hmm.
7 came around, I was just like I just couldn't get into it. I think I was just so burned out from 6 that it
Hmm.
took me I don't know how many years it is from 6 to now, to kind of get over that and get back into it again.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, because it really just it strayed too far away, and just really kind of killed like everything that the franchise was known for. But just was like, oh no, we're just a third person shooter now. I mean, that's where the industry was heading, but that's obviously not what people wanted from this series.
Hmm.
So, interestingly too, I feel like you just don't get as many games like Resident Evil 6 anymore. I mean, obviously they do still exist, but it's just not back at that time. I feel like everything was like this, and now it's the genres have started to kind of spread out and differentiate again. Um, But yeah, no, this game definitely is it's a testament to the time that it was made. But I agree. Yeah, not a good game. Definitely can find some enjoyment out of it.
And you
You
know the
know,
weird thing about all of this?
hmm.
I think 5 is fine. I think 5 is actually fun, like great. 6 is just awful.
Yeah, that's
And a
that's
lot
my
of people
recollection of it too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, right?
Hmm. Honestly, I feel like, well, at this point, considering that I have like 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 on the Switch, I feel like I'm like, well, I have to get 5 now. Next time, I'm like ready for another one.
Yeah.
So that probably will be, assuming this
I mean,
doesn't kill a
is
sequel for
5
me.
even on the Switch?
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, you could actually play almost entirely like all the
Mm,
mainline games
mm,
there. So things that are available just on the Switch to um like naturally to play.
mhm,
0, 1, original 4,
mhm.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are all available on the Switch too.
And then the
And
Revelations.
then the two revelations. The
Yeah.
other things, so 2, 3, and 4 remakes are available on the Switch 2 by cloud streaming,
Yeah,
I
no,
believe.
they gotta fix that shit.
Yeah. I mean, on the flip side too, 7 and 8 are also available on the Switch with cloud streaming as well, but kind of
Mhm.
same thing. Like it's not the best way to play it. So there's that. And I think I said this before, considering
They'll probably
how,
end up putting the other ones on Switch
yeah,
too.
and that's what I was just
They're
gonna
gonna
say.
have to, like, at
I
this
think
point.
that with the way Capcom is, like they are very Capcom's very smart about making sure that their stuff is widely available as possible.
Yeah,
And
oh
considering
yeah,
that,
I didn't actually tell you about this.
hmm,
Over the weekend, I mean it's last week, Capcom released the original Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3
yeah, on
all on
Steam.
Steam.
Yep.
And they also released Breath of Fire 4, I think it is, on Steam
Oh,
as
I
well.
didn't know
Which,
about that one. I knew about the
right?
three Resident Evils.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they Capcom's been releasing a shit ton of their stuff just on Steam out of the blue for like no reason. If I actually think they released it on April Fool's Day.
They
So
did.
when like
Mhm.
people reported on it, they were like, "You're just fucking with me. There's no reason this would happen." And then it's like, "Nope, they actually did it." And it's like, "Okay." But yeah, that was interesting, and I think you are right. I think Capcom does try to release their games on everything possible. Like Capcom does a really good job, at least with some of their series, of making sure they're playable on as many things as possible and not letting them, go away. I wish they
Yeah.
would do that with like older Monster Hunter games. That would be pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Or something like well, I guess they've been doing it with Onimusha because Onimusha's got the new one coming out this year.
Mhm.
And they released like Onimusha 1 and 2, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So they at least did do it with stuff like that. They did it with Devil May Cry, which they've always been really on top of things with Devil May Cry. Yeah, they've done it with a lot of their series. There's actually very few now that I think about it that they haven't done it with. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, even back in the day, Resident Evil, like I have on the GameCube, I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and Code Veronica. You could literally get the entire series at the time on GameCube because they ported over all the old
Mhm.
stuff to the system, which was awesome. Um, yeah, and I agree. Like I think that especially considering how well they did with the ports for 7 and 8, like I would be
Yeah.
shocked if they do not do a port for 2, 3, 4 remake, and I wouldn't even be surprised if they were just like, yeah, we'll do another generations pack. I would be all in on something like that. I thought that was a great deal with 9. So um,
I did see a report that made me laugh recently that I wanted to
yeah.
talk about. It was like talking about how well Capcom was doing, but
Hmm.
then they also pointed out something that was really interesting. Konami, of all people, have been doing so well recently with things like the Silent Hill 2 remake and Silent Hill F that they
Hmm.
actually gave all of their workers a raise,
Oh
and they're
wow.
actually giving them more time to work on things and like having less crunch nature and having all this other stuff. Basically, Konami had good news for once when it came to the gaming landscape and everything. And so it was at the same time Sony had the announcement of like laying off all their workers, and then the 1,000 workers being laid off at Epic Games, and then snuck in there was like, oh yeah, I guess Konami's doing okay, and everyone was like, why are we not making a bigger deal out of the fact that Konami is doing better than these fucking companies that were supposed to be set up to not be able to fail? Like that's insane when you think about it.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I was out at the casino this weekend, and I did see that. I saw Konami games.
You know, we have a new Castlevania coming out this year, and it's not a pachinko machine.
Yeah.
It's also not a 3D platformer. It's a 2D 2.5D platformer made by the same people that made Dead Cells.
Uh huh.
Looks good. I'm
Yeah.
excited for it.
It
I
does
mean,
look good.
I guess talking about Konami, I did go back and play more of the DLC from Vampire Survivors that's Castlevania focused because there was some more stuff added to it, like a whole adventure mode now. It was added before the last DLC came out, which is free. And I was playing the adventure mode of that over the weekend as well, and that was really fun. Castlevania seems to be showing up everywhere now, whereas before Konami wouldn't even talk about it existing, which
Oh yeah.
is kind of cool. I'm really happy about it because I really like Castlevania, and seeing that series continue is awesome.
Yeah. Definitely a good thing. Yeah, and I think most people would be happy that they're kind of embracing, their gaming roots more recently than they had been the last few years. So,
Yeah, I mean, I don't own it yet. I haven't bought it yet, but I probably will at some point. The Dominus collection that released last year. Did you see that?
mm-mm.
Uh, they released a collection of all the DS Castlevania games.
Okay. Oh yeah, I think I did see that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I saw it on sale the other day. I was like, wait, I forgot that existed. That's fucking awesome because it's like the kind of Castlevania you wouldn't expect to get a port because it was a DS game, and being able to play that on like Steam or on Nintendo Switch is fucking cool. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, I think games are at least on that side of things. I think that's a
Capcom
good
and,
place to be
and
right now.
Konami have been doing pretty good with bringing back some of their old properties. I mean, we also had Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta, which was
Hmm.
very good, that came out last year. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what happened. Like something flipped in Konami's head, and they went, "Shit, man, we should make money again."
Yeah. Hey, we're missing out on these things. But it also could be too, on the flip side of things, like, we always talk, well, as I always talk about, I feel like, in terms of games, it's about being responsible with budgets. I'm just gonna say this, take it for what it is. I have a feeling that Kojima probably not the most responsible person in terms of budgets.
Oh,
Just gonna
absolutely
say
not.
that.
Absolutely not. I don't
So
disagree at all.
I'm not I part of me is just kind of like they're probably happy that they've been able to kind of reinvigorate these series without kind of breaking the bank like they had been, and I'm sure that's been
I will
pretty
say
helpful
their
for them too.
mismanagement of budgets and money was continuing even after Kojima left, though. Just to play
Oh
devil's
yeah.
advocate, they
Hmm.
were very bad at handling their budgets themselves. So maybe there's been like some kind of change in management, and where people are like, "Damn, the people that worked here before me were fucking stupid," or
Yeah,
something like that.
very well could be. It's
Maybe we need
once.
that same kind of change in management over at Sony. Just saying.
I did just see they're doing a contest to get people in their like featured in their games, like Gran Turismo.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, something. I
Yeah,
can tell
I
you
go
what it
back
is
to
if you
that
want.
game like every few months. I
Hmm.
I think Gran Turismo 7 is actually like really really good. I wish I had a racing wheel to play it. I really want to get a racing wheel.
Yeah, so it says PlayStation hunting for quote biggest fans, so it can scan their faces and put them into games, starting with Gran Turismo 7.
I'm not the biggest Gran Turismo fan. I probably only have like 30 hours in it.
I
I
you
do
know
have Gran Turismo 2 in Japanese though. I
you
collect
know
Gran Turismo games because they're
I
really cool
you know
covers.
yeah, let them scan your face in, and then you could just be like, you be one of those people in the background that just like makes these dramatic kind of like motions, like oh, um, that would be so disappointing. Like you get your scan in, and you see
Even
like this.
funnier, you get scanned in as the passenger guy who like you can only see a little bit out the corner of your eye, like moving his hands, being like, no, make it left, make it right, no, no, no. That kind of-
uh, Yeah, I mean, this seems like a
The
waste
only
of
way
money
you'd be able
too,
to
but
see my see my face is if you were in VR, so you could turn your head to the left and right.
yeah, but I mean, this seems like a big old waste of money too. I mean, I'm sure fans will like it, but maybe I don't know. I don't know if I'd
I
want my face scanned
I
into a
don't
game like that.
I don't think fans of Gran Turismo are the people for this sort of thing. This seems more like the kind of thing you would do for like a mascot platformer and then like make someone more like cartoony, that sort of thing, like in a Ratchet and Clank game or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
or make your people into like a toad or something, like or a
Y-
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Well, we're talking about PlayStation, but I get what you're saying.
I
Yeah.
know. I'm just saying, just kind of equivalent to what you're saying,
Like
but
Astrobot or something. Like maybe.
Astrobot doesn't exist anymore. That's not going to happen.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Sorry, my bad. They're done with that game, and and as such, the IP has died because that is how
Yes.
PlayStation works.
Yeah, we'll never hear of that series again. Um,
I
yeah,
really
but
hope just by making those jokes that we just get proven wrong like next week with like a new sequel announced or something.
I mean, it wouldn't be a bad thing. They're
I would
not.
love it. I think
Yeah,
Astrobot is the second best game that's been released on the PlayStation 5.
we'd be like, oh, hey, Sony's listening to their feedback and they're doing something about it.
They pulled up this one specific podcast. They heard me bitch for 2 hours and they were like, all right, man, we got to shut him the fuck up.
Yeah. All right, where's our D team? Get them started on Astrobot.
Oh
Um,
no.
yeah. The only other things that I had, kind of up on the back burner because I forgot it was actually kind of a busy event weekend. There was a new Tetris 99 for
I
Mario
didn't know that.
Galaxy.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
I forgot because I did get all the Mario
I was
Galaxy
gonna go
amiibo came
see
this
that
week.
movie, and then I didn't.
You
I
saw the first
still,
one though.
I did see the first one. Oh,
Mhm.
did I say how I felt about that now that
You
I've seen
told
it?
us in Facebook
I
chat,
haven't
but you did
said
not
it
talk about it
here
on the
though.
podcast. Yeah,
Okay, yeah. I didn't like it.
I
It's
know. I heard.
simple as that.
Mhm.
It felt like the most sterile marketing campaign, nothing burger movie ever. It was very, very boring, almost to a fault, where anytime I felt like I was so bored that I just didn't want to continue watching it, it was like, hey, here's a neat little nostalgia tidbit, and then it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. I guess I'll continue watching now. Like me and
Yeah.
Katie were watching it, and we had to pause at one point because we needed we have like a specific time we go and feed the dog at and everything,
Mhm.
and we paused because it was time for that. And Katie just looked at me and she's like, "Do we have to finish this?" And I was like, "We should. We've only got like 20 minutes left." And she's like, "Is it just me or does this?" And I just finished her sentence and said, "Completely fucking suck." Yes, absolutely. This movie is not good. No, it. So I actually, after watching this, immediately watched the Sonic the Hedgehog movie with her afterwards, and she was like, "There's such a big difference between the two that it's night and day. It feels so corporate, so sterile, and so boring for the Mario Brothers movie, and then the Sonic movie feels like something you would watch when you were a kid. It's like completely different. It feels a lot like so when I went into the Mario Brothers movie, I was hoping for more like Despicable Me, like the original Despicable Me and that kind of quality, but I got more like Minions, which is just a we made this to make toys and to make money,
Mhm.
not because we actually gave a shit about the quality of the movie. And that's kind of the entire problem I had with the first Mario Brothers movie. And I've heard the second one is like 100 times worse. So,
I mean,
like
Nick enjoyed it from what he said.
he did enjoy it,
Um,
but my friend who enjoys everything, when I asked him how he liked the movie, he was like, it was fine." And I've never heard him say that about a single movie ever. So it means it's the most dog shit thing he has ever seen.
well, like you said, and like I even said before, like this is a marketing vehicle for them,
It is a
and I
marketing vehicle, but you don't have to make a marketing vehicle boring. You can make it also, be an entertaining movie. I'm going to spend $30 to see a film. I want to at least be entertained by it, and I'm not going to be entertained by a 2-hour commercial. It's as simple as that.
yeah,
And
that's
that's how
fair.
I felt watching the first movie also.
I mean, I don't
Even
think
though it
it's
wasn't 2
nearly as
hours
bad
long.
as you do, but I mean, it's definitely not.
I thought it
Even in
was
terms
like
of
a 4 out of 10. Like I
that's
I thought it
fine.
was meh, very meh.
Yeah, I think it's fine. It's definitely not my favorite animated movie. I mean, I pop it in from time to time because there are some things I like about it, but it's not like I necessarily go out of my way to um watch it. I usually use it more as background noise.
The first
Um,
movie was so bad that I actually like I'm being offered to be paid for to go see the second one for free, and
mhm.
I don't even know if I want to accept that.
Yeah,
Like
that's fair.
that's how bad the first one was to me.
Yeah, I like I said, I definitely
And
don't think
like
it was that bad, but
I
it's
liked
just
the
fine.
ideas of thing. Like I liked the moment where he was in the bedroom and they were talking about how like, it's over, give up, that sort of thing. And he was playing Kid Icarus, and it
Mhm.
was the death screen of Kid Icarus. And I was like, okay, that's a neat touch. I liked a lot of little nostalgic bits of it, but like there was no movie in between those little nostalgic bits.
Yeah, the movie is just all nostalgia bits
It just
and
felt
Easter
like a
eggs.
whole nothing burger. It was bad. I didn't like it as a
It
film.
it is not made to be a cinematic masterpiece. It is
I don't
very
want it to be
clear.
a cinematic masterpiece. It doesn't have to be a cinematic
Well,
masterpiece.
they're
Things
not even trying in
They're
that
not even
category.
trying to make it a film. It's a commercial. It is literally an ad. It is not even a film. It barely even felt like a movie when I was watching the first one. It just stuff happened, and there you go.
Yeah, and it's
It was
I
like
think we
it was
talked about
moving
it.
from set piece to set piece, and that was
Yeah,
it.
and like I said in our chat, apparently that's just kind of how they do things, kind of very similarly to Nintendo.
Like they
They kind of
used to
make the
not
set pieces first, and then that's kind of how they do it.
like
But
Despicable Me was a good film. The first one was,
yeah, but
and
this might be what Nintendo wants.
but it's dog shit. Why would Nintendo want the lowest common denominator?
Because it made a shit ton of money. That's why.
Yeah, I know. It's so
And this movie is not
dumb.
targeted towards you; it's targeted towards kids, and they're not going to give a shit. So,
Yeah, it
uh,
does feel like brain rot the film. It makes sense.
yeah, I mean, really, that's what it's lots of it's visual overload to overstimulate you, and
But like
basically,
the Lego movie was that too, and it was still a good fucking movie.
yeah, but they're not advertising like Legos. Like, I mean, it kind of, but they aren't.
I mean, Lego
this is
movie was an advertisement also. They brought back the sets and everything. What I'm saying is they could have made a good film and also made an advertisement, but
yeah,
they
they could
didn't. They
have.
didn't even try. They didn't even try.
Yeah, and but like I said, it didn't matter because they made like billions of dollars, so they don't care. And that's exactly why the sequel is exactly the same because they made billions of dollars and they don't give a shit and they know
And
it's
in
a
some
marketing
cases worse,
vehicle.
from what I've heard.
Yeah.
It's
That's it.
actually
There's some
worse than
people
the
who like
original.
it more. It depends. I've definitely seen it go both ways. I mean, it's definitely very mixed, but like I said, at the end of the day, it's really just it's candy for your brain. It's just really just meant to kind of like overstimulate and make you want to buy Nintendo stuff, and that's kind of what their goal is. Um,
Yeah.
and you can even see it too, kind of with the way that they're handling like marketing on the gaming side of things with this, because they're like, because I didn't really put two and two together, kind of with things the way that they had played out, but now it makes
Hmm.
sense. Like they announced the Mario and Rosalina amiibo that for Galaxy, but they didn't come out with the Galaxy re-releases. They came out with this movie. Like those kind of things. And they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And Nintendo, I saw today, like on like their kind of push notifications, they're like, hey, did you enjoy the movie? Go pick up Galaxy 1 and 2. And now they're re-releasing them as like a physical. I don't think they came out physically for the Switch prior to this. Um so yeah, it is a marketing vehicle for them, like through and through. Although I will say I do really think that the Mario and Rosalina amiibo look really cool. Like they definitely are bigger than I would say probably third biggest amiibo in terms of like size. They look really cool. Look really nice on that side of things. So I mean, I can
Hmm.
kind of see what they were doing there. But yeah, I mean that's just what they're. Actually, there is one other thing that I got too. Speaking of amiibo, I ordered the fifth anniversary. What do they call them? Power bands? Is that what it is? Thing from like the Universal parks. Um, so this is the fifth anniversary of what is it, Super Nintendo World and
Hmm.
Universal Studios in Japan. So they put out like a special power band. It's kind of like um Invincibility Star themed. It's kind of like multicolored, and there's that. So I was like, well, these are probably going to be pretty limited, kind of like the gold ones that they did a couple of years ago. So I'm like, I'll just order that now because who knows if it's going to come out to the parks here and so that way I won't feel like I'm having FOMO. So I ended up ordering one of those. It just came the other day. Looks
Mhm.
really nice. One of these days I'll be able to use them. I'll go to the park and get to try it, but not yet. So, um, but yeah, that is it. That's really I think all I have to kind of talk about on the gaming side of things.
Yeah, I don't think I really have much else to say. Mario Brother movie sucked. I don't even know if I want to see the second one,
Yeah.
and that's really all there is to it.
Alright. I mean, my plan at this point is probably to just wait until it's available for streaming. I'm not planning on seeing it in the theater. Although I do really want that Yoshi popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
It looks cool. But anyways, do you have anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up then?
No, I don't actually. I'm good.
Okay. Well then. Thank you everyone for listening to us tonight. Don't forget, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google, Amazon, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. iTunes, I can't remember if I said that already. If you want to check out all of our old episodes, they are available on game-crunch.com. If you want to reach out to us, send us an email at gamecrunchcast@gmail.com. Brandon,
Hi.
any final thoughts?
No, I don't
Okay.
have any final thoughts.
All right.
I think I'm
Well,
good.
that's okay. That said, my name is Mike Anastasia. You can find me online. I'm Clash of Penguin there or on your favorite gaming console. And until next week, game on.
Game on.
Stumbled in the dark, typewriter glow, green herb tucked in my torn old coat. Zombies at the window, shuffle and moan. Felt like home. Look back in the mansion, back in the fear. Puzzle doors creak, umbrella was here. Every hallway whispered you're on your own, but my aim felt strong. Game on when the shutters slam, red spray can and a shaking hand. Heart like a drum when the hunters land. Game on, yeah, I understand. But when that 6-1 hit the screen, lost in the noise and the cutscene sheen, oh, take me back where the terror's clean. Game on, not like 6, you see. Lit from a chopper, crash in the sky. Couldn't tell if I should laugh or cry. Every fight a circus, loud and long, with the fear all go. Quick time chaos, press what, press when. Trip over teammates, do it again. I miss that creak of a door so slow in a single groan. Game on when the halls are tight, one spare clip and a failing light. Red head sharp as your heart decide. Game on, that's my kind of night. But number 6 just chased the thrill, lost the chill and it dulled the kill. Oh, spin me back to the mansion, still game on, not this overkill. Raise your glass for the crimson days, for the dogs in the yard and the burning maze, for the keys and the crests and the cursed old song. Hey, we'll dance on the dew all night long. Game on when the silence screams, footsteps echo through broken dreams. Lanterns swing and a steel door gleams. Game on, that's the way it seems. So here
Oh, also, they had
Yeah.
way too much. They relied way too much on licensed tracks. They were so poorly put into the film too. It was just like, what are we doing here?
Oh, the first movie, yeah.
Yeah,
I hear that's not an issue with the second movie.
that's good.
That is one thing that I've heard repeatedly that they have
That's good because the first
changed.
movie was so bad when it came to licensed tracks. It was like, what are we doing? Come on. Like the whole scene where they're being taken to Cranky Kong's place and being introduced to Donkey Kong and everything. I
Yeah.
don't remember what song played there, but I remember it being fucking awful, and I was just like, come on, guys.
Yeah, a lot of it was like a lot of 80s music. I don't remember. Some of it seemed definitely really out of place.
Yes.
Like I
And then
know
I
I
think
liked
what's his name? Seth Rogen was dog shit as Donkey Kong. And Bowser was not that much better.
I thought they did fine for what they were doing. But I was just say like what was it? When they're doing like the training montage and they played like I Need a Hero, like
Yeah.
I'm like I've
yeah.
already heard that in like 3
A
different
million
games
times.
or
Yes.
3 different movies, and even like the Pokemon Detective Pikachu rather, had that song featured in it. And just like, okay, I'm like I don't need to hear it again. Like I've already heard it so many times. I mean that, and I like that song too. Like, and actually, I thought it was kind of like fine there, but I agree with you. Like, they don't need like all these license tracks. There's so much great Nintendo music that they could use similarly. That's kind of almost surprising that they did not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, supposedly
Basically,
they did a lot better with the
we
new one.
immediately watched the Sonic the Hedgehog movie after the Mario Brothers movie.
Uh-huh.
And my thoughts, and I said this out loud to Katie, I said, how is it that the live action movie that's made to be cringe was less cringe than the animated film that we watched today?
Because they're trying to make buttloads of money with the Mario movie, so they don't care. That's why.
But they were trying to make buttloads of money with the Sonic movie, and they did. And they also cared.
Not as much as Mario.
How much the films make?
Mario was like the first Mario movie was one of the highest grossing movies of all time. I know Sonic did not come close to it.
Okay, hold on a second.
Like when the Mario movie came out, it was the highest grossing animated film of all time. It has since changed because of new movies always come out. Like I think the new Zootopia movie or whatever has surpassed that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like the first, oh no, I'll pull up a list too.
1.36 billion for the Mario Brothers movie, 1 billion for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. So I mean, they're very close, to be completely honest.
Yeah,
they both
so
got $1 billion and over.
The Super Mario Brothers movie is currently the 20th highest grossing movie of all time.
They're combining all 3 films. Okay, you're right. Yep, I see that now. Fucking AI giving me bullshit answers.
Yeah, and it's like, so the top 10 of all time. Avatar 1, not surprised. That movie made a stupid amounts of money. Avengers Endgame, second Avatar movie, Titanic. This movie, I don't even fucking know what this is. It is definitely foreign. Neza 2?
Oh, I've heard about that. I'm not even joking. I've actually heard about that.
Yeah, it's a Chinese movie, and I think I've heard about something similarly. Oh yeah, because this was last year. That was when it came out. I remember hearing about that. Then the 7th Star Wars movie is number 6. Avengers Infinity War is number 7. Spider-Man No Way Home is 8. Zootopia 2 is 9. Inside Out 2 is 10. Jurassic World is 11. The Lion King, the new one, is 12. The original Avengers 13. Furious 7 14. Top Gun Maverick 15. The new Avatar, so Avatar 3 16. Frozen 2 17. Barbie 18. Avengers Age of Ultron 19. And then Mario Brothers is 20.
Oh my god, Ultron is 19? That's one of the worst Marvel movies ever made.
Well, it's kind of one of those things, feed into it, and then There's that. I mean, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is 25, and that movie's fucking garbage. So is Star Wars The Last Jedi at 24. Both
That
of those
movie is
movies are
dog shit.
bad. Yeah. Star Wars The Last Jedi is my Resident Evil 6 for Star Wars.
Really?
It literally killed Star Wars for me. Like I left the movie and I was like, oh, this was not too bad, but then it kind of soaked in my head and I was just like, nope, did not like it. And I never went and watched any. I never watched the last movie in that trilogy. I could not.